Matt Tiller, author
Hello.
of The Lion Who Never Roared. Thank you very much indeed for coming to Barking Football Club today. It's great to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
The story of Jack Leslie is obviously an incredible story. It's a story that deserves to be heard. But what inspired you to write the book?
Well, it was 2019 when I first learnt the story of Jack Leslie, and I started chatting to some of my Plymouth Argyle supporting friends because that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. I will be supporting Barking today, but and Plymouth, who are away. Me and my mate Greg Foxsmith decided, we've got to do something about this, because Jack became not only a Barking legend, but a Plymouth Argyle legend, playing 13 years, 400 games, 137 goals. But in 1925, he was selected for England, the first black player to be selected for England. But before the game was quietly dropped due to the colour of his skin. So we just felt we had to do something. So we set up the Jack Leslie campaign. Barking were huge supporters, and it was great. I've been here a few times now, and his time at Barking was amazing, actually. The club was doing really well at the time, just after the First World War, and it was a massive part of a great Barking team.
And that actually leads me into my next question, which is, from all the research that you've done into Jack's career at Barking and at Plymouth, is there one thing that stands out for you from Jack's time with Barking?
I mean, there's a huge number of things, but if I was going to say one thing, after 2 years of great success and some amazing experiences, touring France a couple of times with Essex and a London League side, which are amazing stories in themselves, but it was the game against Dulwich Hamlet, which I've got in here. I have to remind myself of it would have been 1921 that they played the it's a London. Yeah, they won the London Senior Cup. They were champions of the London League Premier Division that year. And in the London Senior Cup, it was against Dulwich Hamlet. Of course, they're famous for their hipster craft beer quaffing. It's actually my nearest club, but I'm not saying I'm not a fan, but they're also a great club with a great history. But it was there in front of 15,000 people, like Barking playing Dulwich Hamlet. It was actually played at Millwall's old den. 15,000 fans playing that game, and Barking won. And it was there that Bob Jack, the Plymouth manager, spotted Jack, came talent scouting, picked up Jack and 2 other Barking players as well, and signed them professionally for Plymouth.
I didn't know that. I may have that programme indoors actually from that Dulwich game, but I didn't know that was where he was spotted. Generally speaking, what sort of feedback have you received about the book?
What sort of feedback have I received about the book? I'm obviously going to say it's all been great, but it has actually. Pretty much, it's been brilliant. Obviously, I've done a lot in Plymouth and the clubs that Jack's associated with, but the feedback has been really, really great, because it's been a real privilege and an honour, and we've got to know Jack's family, so I spent time talking to them and finding out about his life. And it's not just match after match, although if you're a football fan, there's lots of that, of course, from his Barking days onwards. But it's also about him as a person, as a man, the difficulties of growing up in the sort of early 20th century as a black man in East London and then moving to Plymouth, and of course what happened to him when he was selected for England, and what a way to be treated. I think that it really hit home when I was writing the book, even more than at any point through the campaign, that across those few weeks in October 1925, what he would have gone through. And I think it's been great to hear people, I guess, engaging with it in the same way and finding out about that more deeply. And, throughout his whole life, he came back here to train the Barking team just before the Second World War, and then West Ham in the boot room, of course. Yeah,
of course. So I think that's quite a nice way to lead into my final question, really. It's such an important story that needs to be told to young people today, to footballers today, as much as anything. Is there like one particular message or a lesson from either from Jack's life or the way that Jack managed what happened to him that footballers today could learn from?
I mean, I do think, although someone asked me about what it would be like in the modern game, he'd probably have to give up smoking. But I think he was a model professional. Back then, it's, diet and fags were all fine. But I think it's that sort of resilience. And I think anyone who's going to make it in football has to be resilient, because you're going to get knocks. What happened to Jack with the England selection was unbelievable and shameful. And I never want to say that it didn't affect him, because I think it did through his life, although he was very humble and didn't complain about it. But what he did do as a professional footballer was just get back out on the pitch and show what he could do. On the day that England were playing in Ireland, the game that he was selected for, he scored twice for Argyle in a 7-2 win, and he went on to greater heights. He became an even better player. So I think it's just that. But also it's important to learn the history. I think understand what kind of things black people and black sportsmen and sports people went through over the years.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. Matt Tiller, once again, thank you so much for coming to Barking today. It's great to have you with us. And of course, The Lion Who Never Roared is available in all good bookshops.
It is.